Due to mature subject matter, viewer discretion is advised.
Whether it occurs by the quirk of nature or at the hand of a terrorist, epidemiologists show through their models that a respiratory spread pathogen would kill more than 30 million people in less than a year. And there is a reasonable probability of that taking place in the years ahead.
Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see and have not seen it. To hear what you hear and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Scientists with the CDC say the strain known as bird flu X could potentially wipe out 4 billion people and kills 1/3 of the people affected. It originated in China in March of 2013 during the 5th epidemic from October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017. The World Health Organization reported 766 human infections with Asian H7N9 virus, making it the largest H7N9 epidemic to date. As of December 7th, 2017, the total cumulative number of human infections with Asian lineage H7N9 reported by the World Health Organization since 2013 is 1,565. During epidemics 1 through 5, about 39% of people confirmed with Asian H7N9 virus infection died. Zero Hedge reports the World Health Organization says H7N9 is an unusually dangerous virus for humans and one of the most lethal influenza viruses that we've seen so far. H7N9 viruses have several features typically associated with human influenza viruses and therefore possess pandemic potential and need to be monitored closely. Researchers led by James Paulson of the Scripps Research Institute in California have been studying the mutations which could potentially occur in H7N9's genome to allow for human-to-human infection. The team's findings, published in the journal PLOS Pathogens on Thursday, showed that in laboratory tests, mutations in 3 amino acids made the virus more able to bind to human cells, suggesting these changes are key to making the virus more dangerous to people. That from Japan Times. Outbreaks since late 2017 of other avian flu strains, namely H5N6 in South Korea, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, H5N1 in Bangladesh and Cambodia, and H5N8 in Russia, reveal an increase in the potential of the mutation of a global avian flu epidemic. A sweeping pandemic would be just what the elite ordered. As the Georgia Guidestones decree, created by an anonymous and well-funded group, it lists their number one priority as the reduction of the population of Earth from 7.44 billion to a maintained level of 500 million.
More than a foot of rain triggering flash floods, submerging vast areas along Interstate 2 from McAllen to Mercedes, Texas.
Yes, we woke up, it was around 3 in the morning, and we saw outside and everything was flooded, everything.
85-year-old Francisca Ramirez, a longtime resident of Weslaco, says she's never seen it like this.
Just raining, it can't keep on coming, and I'm scared.
All right, guys. Well, you're in good hands now. You're rescued.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Overwhelmed first responders.
We got other people to take out as well.
Getting a helping hand from volunteers. These good Samaritans taking Ricardo Rangel, who can't walk, to high ground. In some cases, the water's so deep, military trucks had to back up to find a different route out. Juanita Gomez asleep as the floodwaters quietly began to rise.
When I woke this morning at 8 o'clock, I stepped in the water.
You stepped right out of your bed into water?
Yeah.
Motorists stalled in deep water, breaking out glass when electric windows stopped working. Roads giving out, creating sinkholes in McAllen. Because a flood like this here is so rare, most homeowners say they have no flood insurance. Experts say the long-term drought and the sun-baked soil compounded the impact of the flood.
Alarming new pictures showing the lava threat not letting up in Hawaii. This video was released yesterday by the USGS. Some of the lava now flowing at 15 miles per hour. It doesn't sound fast, but just look at it. Authorities are now warning residents and tourists to stay away. Tourists could be fined or arrested if caught taking pictures. So far, more than 600 homes have been destroyed.
Steamboat Geyser, the world's tallest and far more powerful than Old Faithful, is roaring back to life. Oh my gosh. Steamboat has erupted 9 times in 3 months. Prior to that, it erupted just 10 times in 27 years. And yes, it can do what Kilauea has done on Hawaii's Big Island, only much, much bigger. A supervolcano. Because this geyser field at Yellowstone National Park lies on top of an active volcano with multiple chambers of magma from deep beneath the earth, the same energy that causes geysers to blow could spew an ash cloud as far as Chicago and Los Angeles.
It's amazing to think of the scale of these eruptions.
Poland's team of volcanologists are using thermal imaging equipment to track the temperature of the 50-mile-wide magma field. They also monitor 28 seismographs because a supervolcano would include major earthquake activity. That so much is happening now is a boon, not just for scientists, but for science enthusiasts like Hannah Gilbert.
This is amazing. This is a nerd's paradise.
Is this like your Super Bowl?
Yes, yes. This is so much better.
A window into what's being described as a world of rampant sexual torture and impunity. These drawings were smuggled out of Emirati-run prisons in Yemen. Made on plastic plates with ink, detainees held without charge or trial describe the humiliation to the Associated Press news agency. One caption in Arabic says, "It's real terrorism." In another drawing, prisoners being transported in a pickup truck are naked, blindfolded, and handcuffed. 7 former detainees spoke to reporters about what they've witnessed. They say rape, electrocution, and beatings took place at 5 detention centers, including at the Emirati Forces headquarters in the country. The UAE mission in Geneva tweeted that it has never managed or run prisons or secret detention centers in Yemen. But the accusations don't come as a surprise. In March, human rights groups accused the United Arab Emirates of making arbitrary arrests in southern Yemen.
We have documented in the past that the UAE is responsible for forced disappearances, torture, and arbitrary detentions in Yemen.
For months, many residents demanded to know where their missing relatives are. UAE military commanders in Yemen have repeatedly denied running secret prisons there.
After our reporting, the Hadi government set up a committee to investigate, but the UAE has continued to flatly deny any role in abuse against detainees. But abuses continue, we know that, and prisoners have repeatedly started hunger strikes to protest bad treatment.
The 3-year war in Yemen has caused a complete breakdown of law and order, especially in the south, where militias operate beyond the control of the courts and the internationally recognized government. In addition to the disappearances and torture, there have been reports of executions and assassinations.
Euronews is reporting that thousands of Germans have started implanting microchips in their fingers to help them carry membership cards and remember security passwords. Euronews spoke with Mr. Becker, head of I Am Robot, Germany's only seller of near-field communication chips. Mr. Becker got the inspiration for his business venture from a chip implanted on his friend's dog and the American biohacking company Dangerous Things. Since the creation of his company in 2015, Becker estimates that between 2,000 and 3,500 people in Germany have implanted a microchip under their skin. But not all sales come from him. Germans also get chips implanted abroad. So how does the service work? People can order the chips from Becker's website, get it delivered to their homes, and then ideally go to a piercing studio to have the microchip implanted with a syringe. Becker says people can pay extra if they want a company's piercer to implant the chip. So what do people use the chip for? Most people use the chip as a replacement for their business contact card, as a substitute for key cards to the gym, office, and house. Becker says he once sold a microchip to a man who used it to save a link that would go directly to his will. The options of what the microchip can be used for are endless, he said. People can also buy all sorts of gadgets that work with the chip, such as antennas or a doorknob that syncs with the chip. And asked if everyone will be sporting microchips in the future, for now, Becker believes microchip implants remain a small trend in German society. Infrastructure is so far behind in Germany that people are only slowly starting to pay with contactless debit cards. However, if the banks adopt the technology, he could see more people use them to make the majority of their payments in the future. With all of that being said, I am sure you have already heard about Sweden. The Business Insider is reporting that thousands of Swedes are having microchips implanted into their body so that they don't need to carry key cards, IDs, and even train tickets. About 3,000 people in Sweden have inserted a microchip, which is as tiny as a grain of rice, under their skin over the past 3 years. The implants have already helped replace the need for a host of daily necessities. A woman uses her microchip to go to the gym, and for her office key card, she simply waves her hand in her workplace before the doors open. Last year, the state-owned SJ Rail Line started scanning the hands of passengers with biometric chips to collect their train fare while on board. And there is no technological reason that the chips couldn't be also used to buy things, just like a contactless credit card, but nobody appears to have started the testing just yet. It goes on further to report that just last year, in regards to 50 employees at a Wisconsin vending machine company that voluntarily agreed to insert microchips into their hands, which they could then use to buy snacks, log into computers, or use the photocopier. And finally, it reports that Swedes seem more willing to try the technology than most other nations. The country's 10 million strong population is generally more willing to share personal details, which are already recorded by the country's social security system and readily available. The founder stated that the human body is the next big platform. The connected body is already a phenomenon, and this implant is just a part of it.